The RBA's annual snapshots. Let's have a look. Hello everyone, Florian.heise here, and welcome to another episode of HeiseSays. Grab your stein of coffee. I thought we'd have a look at all of the annual snapshots from the RBA, tracking what they consider as important and all about our economy. So let's have a look. So first up, let's look at the key economic indicators, and this is all from the 12th of October. So, the cash rate, it's at 0.25, although there is discussions of it going down. And economic growth is at negative 6.3%. Hasn't been doing too well. Now, inflation, this is very controversial, that they're saying inflation is actually going down. To those of us normal people who actually encounter, have to buy our own food and don't get it delivered by our servants. Negative 3%, yeah, I don't believe it either. It's to do with the fact that they've included the free childcare that a whole bunch of people got with the government just raining money on that sector. If you took that out of it, inflation would be worse. If they actually calculated cost of existing housing in it properly, inflation would be 0.5 higher than that even. The unemployment rate, so is 6.8%, which has actually now gone up to 6.9%. Employment growth is down to down 2.6%. So wage growth, and this is a chart that I've been showing, for a while, just the constant memeing of the RBA's repeated failure at predicting wage growth. It's at 1.8%. Look at what they were predicting in the past, over 4%. Over 4%. So that's why they need to say inflation's at negative 0.3 to make this wage growth not seem so bad. So the average weekly earnings is $1,305. And the household saving ratio, this is the big one, 19.8%. That shows you people are worried. They're saving, they're stashing stuff away. So net foreign liabilities are 45.3% of GDP. The Australian dollar is worth 73 US cents. Now it's down to 70 cents. So it's lost 3 cents since the 12th of October. So in 4 days. So China's GDP growth is at 3.2%. And why are we looking at China? Well, because a significant portion of Australian trade goes over there. Our tourism industry is heavily reliant on China. Our education industry is reliant on China. In foreign investments is heavily reliant on China. And I know you'll have all these people who'll be saying, yes, the media goes in an uproar about Chinese investment, but look at all these other countries, look at America and such that actually invest more. Now, it's true, these other countries do. But when you look at the number of investments, China has significantly larger number, 50% on the raw number of approvals from the Foreign Investment Review Board are for Chinese investors. More if you even add the other extended, Greater China. What does that tell you? Well, the American big boys and the other big countries, they're investing more, but they're like the Bechtels that are opening up huge mines and big projects, where the Chinese investors, lots of little ones, the average amount is a lot closer to what you consider property. So what do you think is going to have more of an impact on the average person? The one who thinks this negative 3% inflation rate is ludicrous and our day-to-day costs of living are going up. So that's where, just keep that in mind if someone pulls that line out at you. And I've done videos on that before. I don't know why I'm the only one looking at it from that perspective. So, and the G7 GDP growth is down 11.9%. So let's jump to the next one, is the Australian economic, the composition of the Australian economy. So the industry share of outputs for key sectors: mining is 10%, finance is 9%, health and education 13%, construction 8%, and manufacturing 6%. Manufacturing has definitely gone down over the years. And construction, well, we saw the significant increase brought on by home builder. So the states, 32% is coming from New South Wales. I'll zoom in a little bit more. 32% is coming from New South Wales, 23% then from Victoria, 19% from from Queensland, 15% from WA, 6% from SA, and 2% from Tasmania. And obviously the ACT, well, they're not really, they're more like a drain with all the civil servants. So our population has grown by 1.4% to 26 million. Exports. 62% of our exports are resources. 62%. This is why when we say we're a quarry of the world, and why I constantly refer to the lack of complexity in our economy, it's because of this. We're not value adding to these resources. Services, 17%. Rural, 10%. And manufactured are only 9%. And here's our export destinations: China, Japan, the EU, Korea, US, and India. Employment to population ratio, and that's gone down to closer to 60%. That's not a good sign. Think about that. So the average price of a dwelling is $679,000. We'll compare that to, median house value. Sydney's 866, Melbourne 678. So Melbourne is about the average. Then you go to Brisbane, we're 500. Adelaide's 441, Perth 439, Hobart 486. I still find it funny that Hobart is higher than Perth. Darwin 384 and Canberra 641,000. Household wealth as a share of income is up, or is it 768%? Household debt as a share of income is at 185. But how much of that household wealth is tied up in property? This is why they will do everything they can to prop up the housing market, and we'll pay for it one way or another. So financial stability, let's have a look. The unemployment rate, I'll change to a different color, is at 6.8. So low compensation for risk, asset prices could fall. Substantial policy support, fiscal, monetary, and prudential. The Australian banks' resilient capital high at CET1, CET1 is 11.5. Liquidity ample, LCR is greater than 150%. So loan repayment deferrals, 7% of housing loans, 11% of medium business loans, small and medium business loans. This is the one that really scares me, guys. There's not much discussion about the businesses. Just think about these businesses. Some of them probably be trading while insolvent, as the rules allow, and they're not paying any of their loans. Uncertainty is high. Uncertainty for businesses is high. Small businesses revenue is down 15%, but large cash buffers. So non-performing loans are low, but will rise at 1%. So housing risks are up and prices, negative equity at 3%. Commercial property risks are high, but low share of banks' assets at 6%. And let's look at the RBA, their annual report snapshot. So policy decisions: 12 Reserve Bank board meetings, 4 statements on monetary policy, and 2 financial stability reviews. The pandemic response: they cut the cash rate, target for the Australian government bond yield, and the term funding facility. And that's part of it, where they were just throwing money at banks to lend to small businesses. And I wonder how many businesses borrowed that money and then instantly deferred the payment. I wonder. So 51 billion in government bond purchases, a balance sheet of 279 billion. So 327 million payments totaling 671 billion for the Australian government, 136,000 bushfire relief payments. 1.8 billion were banknotes worth 90 billion. And they launched a new $20 banknote. I haven't even seen it. Let me know if you've seen it in the comments, guys. Their earnings of 2.6 billion to be paid to the Australian government. They've got 1,384 employees working across 12 locations, and 34% are filled. Managerial positions are filled by women, and 43% of employees are women. Now, I mean, see, this is in some ways this is really sad, where this identity politics just reduces you to your gender or to another thing that they can identify you with to tick a box, completely negating your experience, your skill, and the hard work you did. They're going to be people, that are just going to be promoted up purely to tick a criteria, or it's going to push them further than they should have. We've seen it all the time. And then that lessens the effort of those people that have in the same identity group that have gotten to that level through hard work. Anyway, they've held almost 1,000 business liaison meetings and presented to 5,000 students. Let's look at their equity and diversity snapshot. I mean, this is the world we're living in. So 44% of employees are female. 43% of employees are under the age of 40. Managerial positions are filled by women, 35.2%. Oh, look at this. 3 of the 4 assistant governors are women. But what about other minority groups? Where are they fitting in there? 8% of employees have worked part-time. 1.8% of employees have self-identified as being disabled. I mean, would you answer? Can they ask you these type of questions? Can they in a business? Would you even answer them? Probably tell them to go to... Anyway. They funded 5 Indigenous Australian University internships. Have they actually taken those internships? That's what would be interesting. Because I know at UQ, the medical funding there hardly ever gets used for, degree in medicine. They've delivered key action in the Reconciliation Action Plan. We'll have to see if that actually amounts to anything. 6 employee resource groups, okay? So, the Payments System Board Annual Report Snapshot. So, 640 total daily value of payments. 412 million payments using the new payments platform. 36 trillion outstanding cleared Australian denominated over-the-counter interest rate derivatives. 100 plus institutions are connected to the new payments platform. Non-cash transactions made per person each year, 560. And this is, why are they even pushing for a cash ban? Why? Why? It's such a stupid thing. You don't need the legislation. It will just naturally happen because of convenience. Just leave the market alone. I know our politicians can't handle that. They all want more control. Oh, actually, it's not the politicians. It's the bureaucrats in the background. And on that, I'm going to have a shot of my coffee. The total number of card payments are 10.7 billion. So, debit card use continues to grow. ATM cash withdrawals are down. And check payments of less than 2 per person per year. Yeah, I can't remember the last time I used a check. Can you? So, and finally, the last of their snapshots, how Australians pay. But this is from 2019. Still, 63% of payments are made with a card, 27% are made with cash, 0.2% are made with check. It shows you, we don't need a cash ban, guys. Don't worry about it. Don't provide more money to these government departments and bureaucrats. We don't need it. Okay? Digital payments are more convenient. Spare us more legislation, more potential crimes for what is just a normal behavior, spending $10,000. It's just nuts. 13% of payments are online. 4 out of 5 in-person card payments are contactless. 1 in 20 in-person payments are made with mobile devices. On a typical week, 22% of people have no cash in their wallet. And that's probably a habit you need to get out of. You need to just have a bit of cash, just in case these systems fail. We saw what happened in the bushfire, where people ended up robbing petrol stations because they had no cash. 1 in 5 people used buy now, pay later payments in last year, and that's gone up. That's definitely gone up since this data. And 81% of people have automatic payment arrangements. So there we have it, everyone. The annual snapshots from the RBA. What do you think? What do you think? As always, any surprises there? We'll have to wait and see what happens with that cash rate. As always, thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel. If you're a fan and want to support the content I create here, there are a few ways you can. You can join the channel on YouTube or Patreon. You can support us using our affiliate links at Amazon, eBay, Independent Reserve, or Kucoin. You can buy merch from HeiseSays, use Gold Pass from the Perth Mint, or support us via PayPal. Take care, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.